What's up there, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining me for another Road to Regionals with our still not good team. I know that I said I was going to be switching up the team as of this week with a Mega Swampert team, but I still haven't had the time to actually put one of them together, and I'm in the process of doing it currently. I think I have like 4 or 5 Pokemon on the team so far. I just have to find that like last Pokemon and then might switch out like the second to the last Pokemon, but hopefully I can have that up in a few days. I'm probably going to bulk record as well, so probably do 2 or 3 episodes right now with this team, unfortunately, and then at the end of the week or in the middle of the week we will switch over to that Mega Swampert team. Thank you for the cooperation, everyone. I am just very familiar with this team, so I have no problem playing with this team while I work on my other team, and hopefully while I'm recording videos with the Mega Swampert team, I can then put another team together. So we're going from like a sun team to a rain team, so like straight from rain to sun, and then maybe we'll do sand after that. Then just try all the weathers, and maybe after sand we'll do hail. All right, so let's just hop back onto the ladder, and I also wanted to play with this team just a little bit more, so I can potentially get into the mid 1600s, because we are literally like, we are right there. If we literally win one more game, and you know, knock on wood, we could very well lose. So hopefully we do win. You know, depending on like how many games do we win or lose in the next 2 or 3 episodes with this team, hopefully we can at least get into the mid 1600s with this team. Getting to the 1700s, or at least like getting close to the 1700s would be great with this team, so they could kind of like start out strong and play a lot of good opponents when I start with the Mega Swampert team, because the Mega Swampert team and just like rain in general with Mega Swampert, and that's why many people are using Mega Swampert, it's going to be pretty popular in this format. So we're going to be playing Jan from Germany. Is that you can, you know, switch in your Pelipper, your Politoed, even if you don't lead with them, and you lead with your Mega Swampert, and you can Mega Evolve, and then your Rain was set up since the switches happened before you Mega Evolve, and then since the Rain was up before you had Mega Evolved, your Swift Swim is then activated on that turn. It can catch a lot of opponents off guard. So you can lead with, like, I'm thinking about using Serena, so you can lead with, like, Serena and Swampert, and then that will deter people from using Fake Out, because, of course, you can't Fake Out Serena or your partner Pokemon with Queen's Majesty, and then you can switch out the Serena into, like, a Politoed or Pelipper to absorb attack, maybe from, like, a Kangaskhan or a Fake Out attack. A Fake Out user, and then you can get off a strong attack with your Mega Swampert that is then activated in the rain, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we gotta focus on our battle against Jan right here. So this is a really interesting team. They're also going to be running Trick Room, Mega Salamence, Feeny, Landorus, Tita, Mimikyu, the Togedemaru, and what is that Pokemon called? Oh my goodness, people were using it early in the format in 2017. A Wishy-Washy, that's it. Alright, so what do I want to do? I definitely want to bring my Aromatisse here in the front. Does he have a Fake Out user? Yes, he does have the Togedemaru, which really can't do too much to my Camerupt. 2 Intimidate users against my Bulu, which is going to be kind of annoying. I think I'm going to bring the Tapu Bulu right here. I could have brought my Snorlax, because my Snorlax can get a high horsepower off into the Togedemaru, which probably would be able to OHKO it even without a belly drum up. I could have brought the Snorlax for like late game belly drum sweeps, but the Feeny and the Wishy-Washy don't fare too well against the Bulu, so it looks like they're going for a Fake Out Trick Room play. So I might not even worry about setting up my own Trick Room, because really, what can the Mimikyu and the Togedemaru do against my Aromatisse? The Mimikyu, if it's physical, it just got Intimidate on it. It's not going to be able to OHKO my Aromatisse. I don't imagine that they'd have Rain Dance on their team. So I'd say if they brought the Mimikyu and the Togedemaru, the Feeny's probably in the back. Would you have brought your Landorus and your Salamence for a hard Trick Room team with the Wishy-Washy? Maybe the Wishy-Washy also switches in here on the Togedemaru slot, or the Togedemaru is probably going to go for a Fake Out into my Staraptor, because my opponent has to know that what Staraptor is used for. It's used for Scarf Final Gambit, so I'm going to go for that play. If he goes for the Fake Out into the Aromatisse, again, that's perfectly fine. Let's see if he goes into the Aromatisse. Yeah, so Oh, okay, Swords Dance. Wasn't anticipating that. They might be inclined to now switch in the Wishy-Washy or the Feeny. Alright, so in quite the predicament right now. Because Mimikyu probably will end up going for the Ghost DMZ into my Camerupt. But I think I'm going to go for the safe play of going for a Protect my Camerupt. I could have very well have switched in my Staraptor into the Camerupt slot, taken the Ghost DMZ. But if he's not doing that play, he's most likely going to be going for a double up into the Togedemaru. Yeah, so that's Intimidated. It's not going to do too much. This is going to be +1 play rough, and it's going to miss the Mimikyu. So that would have knocked me out anyway. And now we are under Trick Room. Now I can just straight up go for a Sunny Day Eruption. And if he switches in his Feeny, we're in the same predicament as we were before. Just going to get off a lot of damage into the Feeny. Now the Mimikyu is going to be able to... I should have just... Yeah, I think that was a misplay. I'm probably clicking my moves a little bit too quickly, because what I could have done right there is I could have gone for a Moonblast. I'd be attacking before my Camerupt into the Mimikyu, take out its disguise, and then I could have just taken out the Mimikyu, because he can just reverse Trick Room right now. Yeah, that was a really, really bad misplay on my part. Really huge misplay. Because that's is definitely his play right now. He might not even have Trick Room, but you'd have to imagine the Mimikyu would have Trick Room because of the Wishy-Washy on your team. I mean, you have Play Rough, probably a Ghost-type move, Swords Dance, and maybe... no, he probably doesn't even have Trick Room then. This is not going to knock out my RMT, so probably proc the Berry. Yep. Alright, cool. So now we can definitely go for Eruptions, and... It'd be funny if we had Helping Hand on Aromatisse, because then we can go for a Helping Hand and Eruption in the sun, and that would be completely devastating. I'd probably do like 60% to 70% to the Feeny. Alright, so... I'm inclined to take out... I think the Feeny will switch in right here, so let's gain some momentum by switching in our Blulu if the Feeny does want to switch in, and let's go for an Eruption, because the Eruption should be able to take out both of the Pokemon, and Togedemaru might be... Sash, but what's it really do against both of my Pokemon right here? Other than it did show the Poison Jab, but the Poison Jab's at -1, won't be doing too much to the Bulu, could potentially poison it. But I anticipated a Feeny switch in right here. So is the Togedemaru sashed? It is, unfortunately, because it probably will end up going for a Poison Jab into the Aromatisse. The Aromatisse really isn't a threat, but he can't do anything. Yeah, he can't do anything to the Okay. That doesn't really do too much, and we don't get poisoned, fortunately enough. Now we are able to get our Bulu in. The Togedemaru is going to go down next turn if it doesn't protect. If it switches out, let the Gi regain the potential to go for a Fake Out. That's fine. We'll still have 3 more turns of Trick Room left after this, and he just lost his Trick Room Center to reverse the Trick Room. Maybe the Wishy-Washy is just on his team to counter Trick Room, but it's still not slower than the Camerupt. Yeah, so I just pretty much go for Hornleech right here. And then I go for the Eruption. I mean, Feeny could very well protect right here, but I still can't let it get off a Scald or a Muddy Water into my Camerupt, so this double up into the Feeny will at least guarantee that I take it out on this turn. Because the Eruption will take it down to at least, I'd say, 40%. If it's bulky Feeny, 50% if it's Specs non-bulky Feeny. Yep, so right around the money, about 45% right there, and the Hornleech will be able to clean it up. There we go. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely serious right now? Okay, the Muddy Water won't be able to take out my Camerupt. I am getting really fortunate right now, so the Play Rough... I was going to say, does he get an accuracy drop, which he pretty much deserves at this point. So I'm just going to go for a Hornleech right here. Actually, I don't even need to do that. What does he have the switch in his back? Because I want to make sure that I take advantage of all my turns of Trick Room here. We have 1 more turn of Trick Room left, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch into my Staraptor. My Staraptor should be faster than anything that he has on his team, because the Togedemaru had protected the previous turn. I'm going to go for an Eruption right here, and... this should... Okay, he's going to forfeit the match. So the Muddy Water miss right there didn't really matter. It could have mattered in the late game, but Camerupt has pretty much done all it needed to do. It did so much damage. It brought the Togedemaru down the Focus Sash. The Togedemaru really wasn't doing anything unless it had switched out right there, but he really needed to conserve his Feeny. It could have very well have been choice Specs. So therefore I couldn't protect, so then you'd have to pick, okay, who do I want to switch out? Do I want to preserve my fake out pressure? Although the Togedemaru really wasn't doing anything to both my Bulu and my Camerupt. I know it could have Poison Jab, but the Poison Jab still is like a 3-hit KO with an Intimidate and a 2-hit KO unintimidated. I was going to bring my Staraptor right there so I could switch it in because that was the last turn of Trick Room. My Eruption would have been able to take out both of the Pokemon the Togedemaru had previously protected. Could have gone for a double protect, so that when I take out the Feeny or take out potentially both of the Pokemon, I could just go for a final Gambit and I would have been able to just win right there, and I wouldn't even have to set up another Trick Room. Strong game right there. And again, the miss with the I'm sorry, I'm going to do Cyrus again. It's really good music. The miss with the Muddy Water right there, even if it was Specs, it still wasn't taking out my Camerupt. Now, I could have gotten an accuracy drop, which would have probably been worse for me, because I'd rather would have been taken out completely with my Camerupt instead of getting an accuracy drop on it, because at that point, I don't have my Aromatisse in there. I can't go for Heal Pulses because then I'd be forced to go for Heat Waves or, you know, go for Earth Powers, and Heat Waves already has a 90% accuracy rate, so it wouldn't have been looking good if it did get an accuracy drop, but it did miss. Fortunately enough for me, and unfortunately for my opponent. So, Will from Massachusetts, it's going to have, looks like a Jesus. Japan Sandy team. With the core of Excadrill, Salamence, and the Tyranitar. So basically you see, like, these 3 Pokemon together all the time. Whenever you see a Tyranitar, if you see, like, some form of Japanese sand team, you'd see those 3 Pokemon together. Aaron Saberdrang, Tron Zhang is also using something similar to this team. I think he's using, like, 4 of the same Pokemon in that of Tyranitar, Excadrill, the Aegislash, and the Salamence. Can't remember if he has the Feeny or the Coco on it. So dual fairies. Bulu's looking strong for the Feeny, the Tyranitar, even the Excadrill under Trick Room, that is. Aegislash is going to be a problem if I can't have my Camerupt under Trick Room. I'm thinking I'm going to go Aromatisse right here. The Staraptor. Now that I think about it, leading the Staraptor, at least I will be able to get an Intimidate down on the Tyranitar and the Excadrill, because I think the strongest lead for my opponent right here is the Excadrill and Tyranitar. It's going to be annoying if the Tyranitar is Scarfed. Now, because what he'll do is, he'll go for likely a Rock Slide or an Iron Head. His smartest move would be go for a Rock Slide, yeah. He's going to lead the Sand lead. His smartest move is go for a Rock Slide. Because, if his Tyranitar is Scarfed, he should know now that my Staraptor is Scarfed, because although Tyranitar is pretty slow, even if it's Jolly Scarfed, it's still faster than non-Scarfed Staraptor. So if he's Scarfed, he'll know that I'm Scarfed, so we'll likely go for a Rock Slide right now, get some damage onto my Staraptor, and then probably, I mean, if he goes for an Iron Head, it's not taking out my Aromatisse. If he goes for a, but if he goes then for the Rock Slide, if he goes for the Iron Head into the Aromatisse, then he's letting my Staraptor potentially go for a final Gambit into either one of these Pokemon, which should not be good for him, because then I take out one of his Pokemon, I get a free switch in. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to go for, I'm trying to think, I'm going to go for a Close Combat in Tyranitar. Let's see what he does. He does go for the Iron Head, so this is why I went for the Close Combat. Close Combat on a non-bulky Tyranitar should be able to take it out. Yeah. So I'm going to take out the Tyranitar right there, but now I have my, my Staraptor under Trick Room, which is bad because whatever he switches in to is going to be slower than my Staraptor, therefore faster under the Trick Room. But now I can go for a close combat into the Excadrill to get some chip onto it. And that was Life Orb, so it's likely 252, 252 to the... he's going to get Intimidate down. Just going to go for... Should I go for... I think I'd just go for a Moonblast to put it in range for an Eruption. I think I have to go for a Moonblast to put it in range for an Eruption. He could also protect the Salamence and then go for the Iron Head into the Aromatisse. So I kind of want to get up Sun right here. But I think getting Chip off into the Salamence will be better because if anything protects is going to be the Excadrill because I had gone for... and he's probably just going to go for Hyper Voice. Because that won't take out my Staraptor, and I really don't gain any more momentum because I'm not getting my switch-ins. So I'm going to bring in my Camerupt right here because I really think the Excadrill protects because it should be slower than my Staraptor under the Trick Room. I can go for the close combat into that because that'll get a lot of damage off into the Excadrill. I think this is the safest play, but my opponent could just go for a double attack right here. But if he goes for a double attack, I am getting in my Camerupt in with... yeah, so he's just playing really, really risky right there. Wait, what? Did I... Wait. What? Did I flinch the previous turn? I must have. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Okay, so this is definitely not good. And I flinch again. Wow. Okay, so my opponent getting all the rolls, apparently. Because now he just doubles it. Yeah, I had to... Because we're not under the Trick Room, right? I see now. I automatically assumed that we were under the Trick Room. Which wouldn't have mattered anyway because my Aromatisse double flinched. Yeah, I could have went for close combat into the Excadrill then with my Staraptor, which is kind of unfortunate because if I switch into my Bulu onto a Hyper Voice, I am taking a whole heap of damage. And if I don't protect the camera up right here, it's just going to go down. So it's going to go for the Hail Mary right here. Because all he has to do is go for, I mean, an Earthquake and... Yeah, he goes for an Earthquake. I mean, he might even go for an Earthquake and then maybe Dragon Dance if the Salamence has it, but if it has Hyper Voice, I doubt it. Yeah, that's just a safe play right there. He could have just went for an Earthquake. The Earthquake would have knocked me down anyway. Alright, so, and he goes for the Tailwind, which really doesn't... Actually, yes, it does matter, because now the Salamence will outspeed my Staraptor. That's actually a pretty good play on his part. So I could have went for an Earth Power into the Excadrill. But, I mean, why would he go for an Iron Head? Like, I could have went for an Earth Power into the Excadrill, but it doesn't make sense to do that. I mean, I could have switched into my Bulu and then gone for a Trick Room. I guess that was a play? But the Earthquake still would have taken out my Aromatisse, so my opponent maybe not knowing his calcs. Yeah, I can't predict. Can't bring in the Bulu, so I think the Snorlax actually is a better call than the Bulu against Sand teams because Iron Head will hurt the Bulu. It's good for the Tyranitar, but the Salamence just completely annihilates the Bulu. I can't really do much to it in return with Superpower or Horn Leech, so he's going to be able to outspeed me, unfortunately. There's really nothing I can do about that. So I'm just going to go for the close combat into the Excadrill. It is now -2, but he also could probably switch into his Feeny or his Coco, yeah, or even go into his Aegislash. So I'm going to go for the final Gambit right there. Does he really though? He's at -2. He's going to switch out. And then I guess I go for a Mega Evolution and Heat Wave. There's really not much I can do. He's not going to switch out, so he's at -2. I guess he just doesn't care. He's probably going to go for a Rock Slide and Hyper Voice, because that will be able to take out my Camerupt. Won't be able to take out my Staraptor. No, an Iron Head. He really likes to flinch Pokemon, doesn't he? And he's going to go for a Hyper Voice. Okay. So, me not knowing that I didn't get up Trick Room, killed me. Because this final Gambit isn't going to do anything to the Excadrill. I think I actually have a solid matchup against this, because as you've seen, I took out the Tyranitar, and I specifically EV'd my Staraptor to be able to take out the Tyranitar with one close combat. Non-invested. I mean, you have to invest a lot in HP and defense in order to survive that. It's 4 times super effective, and Staraptor's attack stat is nothing to laugh at. Like, I barely had to invest to actually be able to OHKO. We're going to get one more match in here. Normally, I only want to do, like, 2 because I'm, like, a little restricted with time, and I still want to build upon the team that I was going for with my Mega Swampert team. So, I mean, good. I guess good game to my opponent. He got, like, extremely lucky, but I guess that was due because I got really lucky the previous game, although I didn't need to get lucky the previous game in order to win that. Like, the muddy water miss and no accuracy drops, like, I didn't need any of that. I didn't need it. Like, he could have very well have hit the muddy water onto my Camerupt, and it still wasn't taking me out, even if it was specs. So, I didn't need that. But my opponent right there just got extremely lucky because it flinched my Aromatisse twice, because I didn't go for the Trick Room with my Aromatisse the second time around, and I lost so many points for that. Why am I losing so many points for, like, literally no reason? I guess because he was a lower-ranked opponent than I was. So when the second rolling around to the second turn, when it was the Salamence and the Escadrille again was at -1, and he had gone for another Iron Head into my Aromatisse, and he flinched me again. And he could have very well thought I was going for a Trick Room, which I wasn't because I thought I got up the Trick Room the previous turn. And if I didn't know that I didn't get up the Trick Room the previous turn, I would have just went for a close combat into the Escadrille. I don't even think it would have been able to take it. It's 2 times super effective, and I was intimidated. But again, Staraptor's attack stat is pretty good. And even at that, I would have brought the Escadrille down pretty far. That turn again where I tried to set up the Trick Room, he went for the Iron Head, I protected it with my Camerupt. I could have went for an Earth Power into the Escadrille. Don't think it would have changed much because I had the Bulu in the back, and he still went for Hyper Voices and yeah, Double Edge into the Bulu. He just naturally outspeeds it. He could have very well have gotten a Tailwind again as well too, so that my Staraptor is being outsped by the Salamence. Anyway, my opponent right here is gonna be playing with a Greninja, and we're going to be having to play the guessing game. What kind of Greninja is that? Is it physical Greninja? Is it special Greninja? Is it mixed Greninja? Does it have Gunk Shot? But Gunk Shot's really not going to mean anything right here, although I could go for it into my Aromatisse. I feel like he's going to lead like the Lando and the Metagross. Metagross, just so I can go for like an Iron Head into the Aromatisse, and the Lando Scarf, it'll be outspeeding me, and he could just go for the double up into the Mimikyu. So I think I'm going to have to bring that right there. I'm going to bring the Staraptor. I'm going to bring the Camerupt, and I'm going to bring the Bulu. Again, I'm not bringing... hopefully I hit confirm right there. I think this game actually had changed it up that, like, if you still select the Pokemon, you bring those Pokemon, even if you don't hit confirm. Like, it confirms it for you. Because in a previous game in ORAS, what it'll do is, if you didn't hit confirm with your 4 Pokemon, it'll bring the top 4 Pokemon, which would fuck you over so horribly. So hopefully it brought the 4 Pokemon that I had wanted to bring. It's actually a pretty solid lead for him. Because even if... I really like this music. This is the Rainbow Rocket music. I don't know why I was paying attention right there. I was like, who's going to be faster? Is it going to be the Staraptor? Is it going to be the Greninja? Because the Greninja has protein. It's not going to be able to show its ability until it actually goes for an attack. But he should know now that since I had outsped the Greninja, I had Scarfed. I think if anything protects, it's going to be a Metagross. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Trick Room right here. At least I'll prevent a double up, and I should be able to survive an attack from the Metagross. It's likely going to go for the Iron Head like it always does against the Aromatisse, and not many of my opponents actually anticipate me surviving with that, because if anything doesn't protect the final Gambit away, it's going to be the Greninja, but he's just going to double attack. But he actually could have went for the final Gambit into the Metagross, because that's the most threatening thing on the field right now. The Greninja really wasn't threatening my Aromatisse unless I had Gunk Shot, but that still wouldn't have been able to take me out because the Iron Head still has a chance to take me out. But yeah, it has to get an extremely high roll. I think I actually ran the calculation for that, and it has to... There's like, I think, a 7.5% chance of taking me out. That's how close it is. So we get up Trick Room. Now we just bring in Camerupt. If he brings in the Feeny, that's fine. We bring in the Bulu. So what he should do right now is, since I got up the Trick Room, he should bring in Feeney right now. No, he brings in Landers. This is fine with me. Because the only thing that would potentially take me out is Tectonic Rage. But if he's Tectonic Rage, he's not Assault Vest. So he can't survive an Eruption in the Sun. Because if he brought in the Landers right there, he's probably going to be like, okay, maybe he's going to Heat Wave. I can survive the Heat Wave. I'm going to go for the Ground EMZ into the Camerupt. And I'm going to be able to take out this Camerupt. But if it still gets off an attack, and if it hits me, which would be the Heat Wave, because the Eruption can't miss, I bring in my Feeney on the Metagross slot, but he's not switching out, so the Metagross is going to be protecting right here, and the Landorus is probably going to go for, I'd imagine, if it's not Ground EMZ, it's Assault Vest. And he's not taking me out with a Earthquake. Because the next turn, what I do is I switch it into my Bulu for the Feeney switch in. And that'll reduce the amount of damage that the Earthquake can do if the Landorus survives right here. Why is every Landorus Assault Vest? I'm not understanding this. Why is every single Landorus that I play with this team Assault Vest? Every single one. It's so annoying. Now we gotta play the mind game again. Is he going to Bullet Punch my Camerupt? Okay, so most Metagrosses run Protect, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head. Could be Bullet Punch or Stomping Tantrum. I'm not going to play the guessing game right here. I'm going to... I'm in quite the predicament right here. I have to go for it. Wow, okay. Okay. Hydreigon. So he didn't bring the Feeney. That's either good or bad. Because... Oh, I went for an Eruption. I thought I went for a Heal Pulse, but this will be able to take it. Will it? Oh my god, I messed it up so horribly. Oh my god. What am I doing in this episode? I am screwing this up so bad. I go for a Heal Pulse Eruption right there. And that takes out the Landorus, and it does more chip to the Hydreigon. What am I doing? Jim, you're screwing this up. This is such an easy win. Because what do I do against the Metagross now? Oh my god. I am so frustrated with myself right now. I am so frustrated with myself right now. These are seriously the easiest games to win, and I'm just not allowing myself to do it. Like, I am literally not allowing myself to win these games. I'm going to bulk up right here because I'm going to need to against the freaking Iron Head from the Metagross, because my only win condition right here now is to go for like 2 bulk ups, and yeah, so it's going to... Now I'm getting frustrated. Not at my opponent, but at myself, because I'm walking into predictable plays. But really, what does the Landorus go for? It's Special Landorus at that. Maybe a HP Ice. Yeah, it's going to be going for HP Ice into the... Yeah, it's not going to do too much. Now his play is to switch his Hydreigon out into the Metagross. How many turns of Trick Room do I have left right here? I have 1 more turn of Trick Room left. So... I'm going to go for the... Moonblast right there. He could preserve his Landorus as well. I'm going to go for the double up into the Landorus. This seems stupid, but the reason why I'm doing this is because if he takes out his Landorus to preserve... this is not looking good. I'm just going for it. If he preserves the Landorus for the Intimidate, my Aromatisse is going before my Bulu, so I'll be able to take it out, and then my super power now goes into the Hydreigon, which is at +1. This should be able to take out the Hydreigon. But yeah, but again, I mean, really, what am I fighting for? Because I am now neutral with my attack and defense, and all he has to do is go for the. I mean, he's probably going to go for the Iron Head into the Aromatisse. what do I do? I mean, the superpower, even if it was a plus run, probably wasn't even bringing the Metagross down to half. Whoop. So he's probably going to go for the Iron Head. If I was him, I'd go the Iron Head into the Bulu, because my play is double attack. Well, not double attack, but go for the Trick Room and attack with my Bulu. Because the Aromatisse does nothing against this Metagross right now. So I guess the only play that I really have is to go for Protect and Trick Room. It's my safest play right now, because if he goes for the attack into the Bulu, maybe I have a small window of opportunity. But he could just easily go for the Iron Head into the Aromatisse. Yeah, so I could have attacked right there, but then yet again, what was I really doing to the Metagross? Because if I would have went for a superpower into the Metagross, I was going to be at -1 defense, and he would have been able to outspeed me and go for an Iron Head. That would have been able to take me out. So, again, losing another game that we can easily win, but just, like, I think what I do in these episodes is that I focus more or so on commentary, because without commentary, there's really no entertainment for my viewers, to let you know what I'm thinking throughout the entire time. You know what I was thinking on that turn where I Moonblasted and I went for the Eruption, because you know I wanted to go for a Heal Pulse Eruption, and that would have been able to take out the Landorus. My Camerupt still would have been able to be on the field. He switches in Hydreigon, I get more chip onto the Hydreigon. And then the following turn, I just go for a Heat Wave and Moonblast into the Hydreigon. Again, the Hydreigon could have very well have protected, but then we still have one more turn of Trick Room left after that, and then I just go for another Heat Wave. And that would be pretty much a game, because we were in the sun, I go for a Heat Wave, and it's looking pretty good right there. So, that's a little unfortunate. Again, can't do anything about it now. We can't go back to it or anything like that. Just very, very frustrating to me. I'm gonna have to, like, I'm not even gonna record another episode right now because I'm, like, so disgusted in myself. Just gonna, like, walk away and, like, go do something around the house and then maybe come back just so I can, like, get off my tilt and then come back fresh. Alright, so everyone, have a great day. Hope you did enjoy this episode. I understand the mistakes that I had made. The second game could have done nothing about that. My opponent got extremely lucky and got 2 flinches, because I feel like if I got up to Trick Room, and even the second time I could have got up a Trick Room, but I got a double flinch. If I was under the Trick Room, I was looking really, really, really good. Even if the Salamence was on field, I could have just went for a Moonblast into that and Eruption, and then that should have been able to chip it to the point where I've been able to take it out the following turn. But can't do anything about it. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks for viewing.